Tirak stood at the viewport of his compound, watching the sun set over the jagged peaks of Valther Prime. His fur bristled with barely contained frustration. 27 suitors had come for his daughter Kara's hand. 27 warriors, merchants, and nobles from across 3 star systems. All had failed his trials. The Valthek were a proud species, wolf-like predators who had clawed their way to the stars through strength and cunning. Tirak was their alpha, leader of the largest pack on the colony world. His word was law. His daughter was the prize every ambitious male sought. But Tirak hadn't built his empire by trusting ambition alone. Father, Kara's voice cut through his thoughts. The human arrives tomorrow. Tirak's ears flattened. A human? Who approved this? I did. Kara's amber eyes met his without flinching. She had her mother's steel spine. His name is Jace Morin. He's the mechanic at the orbital station. A mechanic? Tirak's growl rumbled deep in his chest. You're worth more than some grease-stained technician who kept Station 7 operational during the solar storm last cycle when your ships couldn't dock, Kara interrupted. Who saved 43 lives, including Uncle Varak's entire crew. That mechanic. Tirak fell silent. He remembered that storm. Remembered the panic when their vessels couldn't return home, radiation levels spiking. Then, inexplicably, the docking bay had come back online. The human had bypassed systems the manufacturers claimed were impossible to override, working for 37 hours straight in a radiation suit held together with tape and determination. Still, a human. He'll fail like the others, Tirak said finally. Kara's expression didn't change, but something in her eyes suggested she thought otherwise. Jace Morin arrived the next morning in a battered shuttle that looked held together by hope and spare parts. Tirak watched him disembark, a lean figure in a worn flight jacket, tool bag slung over one shoulder, moving with the easy confidence of someone who knew exactly what he was capable of. Not the swagger of warriors, something quieter, more dangerous. Alpha Tirak, Jace extended his hand in the human greeting. Tirak stared at it for a long moment before grasping the offered palm. The human's grip was firm, his skin rough with calluses, working hands. You understand what you're asking for? Tirak rumbled. I'm asking for the chance to prove I'm worthy of Kara, Jace replied evenly. And I understand you're going to make that as difficult as possible, honest at least. Tirak respected that. 3 trials, Tirak said. Combat, survival, wisdom. The same tests I've given every suitor. When do we start? Now. The combat trial was simple. Defeat 3 of Tirak's best warriors in hand-to-hand combat. The Valthek were natural predators, faster, stronger, with claws and fangs humans lacked. The first warrior lunged. Jace sidestepped, not with superhuman speed but with precise timing, using the warrior's momentum against him. A shoulder throw sent the Valthek crashing into the dirt. The second warrior attacked more cautiously. Jace didn't try to overpower him. Instead, he adapted, fought smart targeting joints, using leverage, turning every disadvantage into geometry. The third warrior was massive, outweighing Jace by at least 60 kilos. The crowd expected a massacre. Instead, they watched Jace exhaust the warrior, dodging and weaving until exhaustion made the bigger fighter sloppy. Then, a perfectly timed leg sweep, and it was over. Tirak's eyes narrowed. The human hadn't won through strength. He'd won through thinking. The survival trial came next. Tirak dropped Jace into the Thornback Wastes, a region where even Valthek rarely ventured. Toxic plants, venomous creatures, temperature swings that could kill in hours. Survive 3 days. Most suitors returned half-dead, having relied on raw endurance. Some didn't return at all. Jace came back on the second day. He'd built a solar still for water, fashioned a shelter from local materials that maintained temperature, created basic tools from scavenged metal. He'd even mapped safe routes through the territory and left markers for any future travelers. You were told to survive, Tirak said, bewildered. Not to improve the place, Jace shrugged. I had time. Seemed wasteful not to use it. The human brain, Tirak was learning, never stopped solving problems. The final trial was wisdom. Tirak presented a scenario. An enemy fleet approaches. You have 40 ships, but they're outgunned 3-1. Your scouts report the enemy will arrive in 6 hours. What do you do? Every suitor before had given variations of the same answer. Heroic last stands, desperate gambits, glorious sacrifices. Valthek answers, all about honor and courage. Jace thought for exactly 12 seconds. I don't fight them, he said. The gathered crowd bristled, Terak's claws extended. You would surrender? No, I'd make them surrender. Jace leaned forward. Your scouts report 6 hours. That means I have intel they don't know I have. I broadcast on all channels, not a threat, an offer. I tell them I know they're coming. I tell them I've had time to rig every orbital platform, every refueling depot, every navigation beacon in the system with explosives. I haven't, of course. But they don't know that. Jace's eyes gleamed. Then I offer them a deal. Turn back now, and the traps stay dormant. Come closer and everyone dies them and us. I sell them on the idea that we're just crazy enough to actually do it. Humans have a reputation, after all. A bluff, Terak said slowly. The best weapon is the one you never have to fire, Jace replied. Why sacrifice 40 ships and thousands of lives when you can win with words? The silence stretched. Every Valthic present was reconsidering everything they thought they knew about strength. And if they call your bluff, Terak challenged, then we fight. But we fight on ground of my choosing, after I've made them paranoid and hesitant. Fear is force multiplier. Terak stared at this human who'd bested warriors with intelligence, survived wastelands with ingenuity, and just proposed winning wars without firing a shot. This wasn't the mindset of someone seeking glory. This was someone who'd already decided what was worth protecting and would do anything clever, ruthless, or kinda keep it safe. You think you're worthy of my daughter? Terak said quietly. No, Jace replied. I think she's deciding whether I'm worthy of her time. This isn't about passing your tests, Alpha. It's about proving to Kara that I see her as an equal, not a prize. And there it was. The thing that made humans truly dangerous. They didn't just adapt to challenges. They redefined them. Terak looked at his daughter standing at the edge of the arena. She was smiling, really smiling for the first time since these trials began. The Alpha of the Valthic, who'd never surrendered to anyone, felt something he hadn't expected. Pride. One more question, Terak said. Why her? Jace didn't hesitate. Because she's the first person in this galaxy who looked at me and saw someone worth challenging. Not someone to use or impress. Someone worth being better for. Terak extended his hand. Welcome to the pack, Jace Morin. The human gripped it firmly, and in that moment, Terak understood. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons. It was their absolute refusal to accept that anything, even a Pack Alpha's trials, was impossible to overcome.